It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Good morning and a marvelous Monday to you. I can steal that tagline because my co-host is not here today. I'm flying solo. I am your host, Davriel Gardner, and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. I always like to say a happy Monday to you, and I'm having an especially happy Monday today, and I actually thought about why, and it's because I went to bed really early last night. And I think sometimes we underappreciate the opportunity to go to bed super early and just have a restful weekend. Prior to the weekend, I had a crazy week at work and it kind of spilled over into the weekend. But in the evening, I got to just take that time, sip some tea, watch a movie, and go to bed at an early time. And I thought about it, and there's actually an Italian phrase that talks about the joy of relaxing, and it's dolce far niente, and it means the sweetness of doing nothing, which is very important sometimes. You know, sometimes we're super busy, we have all the things that we want to get done, and on the weekend, even though we're having fun, it turns into a busy time of having fun. But I am coming off of a weekend of dolce far niente, and I'm feeling great, and I hope that you're bringing that same energy into your Monday. We have a great show for you today. Mother's Day is almost here, and we are having a mother and child look-alike contest. So sons as well as daughters are allowed to compete. If you look like your mom, please send your photos to sparker@tclbahamas.com. Deadline for entries is Wednesday, May 10th at 12 noon. Winners will be asked to appear on the show in studio on Friday, May 12th. Please include a phone number. TCL also wants you to save the date for the Cat Island Business Outlook coming up on Thursday, May 18th in Fernandez Bay Village, Smiths Bay. The conference will be hybrid, so you can join virtually for $50 or in person for $75. You can register today at tclevents.com. Like I said, we have a great show for you today. We'll be discussing the benefits of electrolysis and laser services with Birgirtha Moxey. Kyle Stubbs is also going to share the best wines for your Mother's Day celebrations. And Merrit, Storr and Nerissa Greene from Providence Law are here to discuss the recent citizenship ruling by the Privy Council. But before we get into all of that, we'll have our first check on weather with Godfrey Burnside.
This is Weather at Sunrise.
Thank you, Davriel. Good morning, Bahamas. And your first look at weather at sunrise. High pressure north the islands. Now we have the feature across the islands. So you can look for a lovely day weather-wise. Today, we're looking at partly sunny, hot, and humid. And there's a chance of a few showers by the afternoon. High temperature 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, a few patchy clouds around, still on the mild side. The low temperature going under 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And some region highs and lows across the Caribbean. Barbados, 1978. In Jamaica, 88 and 77. In Trinidad, 91 and 76. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 88 and 75. Across North America, Atlanta, 79 and 61. In Boston, 71 and 54. In Miami, 87 and 74. Dallas, Texas, 87 and 68. And Toronto, Canada, 64 and 52. As we go to the weekend, high pressure will shift towards the east sometime late Wednesday into Thursday. Make way for a frontal boundary moving here sometime late Friday into Saturday morning, with increasing cloudiness and some thunderstorm activity. Though temperature daytime ahead, that front will be in the upper 80s, at nighttime in the mid-70s. That puts you up in first look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to the show.
Thanks, Godfrey. Birgirtha Moxey owner of Glabella, is here to tell us about her company, which offers not only Electrolysis and laser hair removal services, but also a wide range of other services. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
So why did you decide to start your own business?
Well, as you can see, I'm a mature woman, and I started it at a mature age, just 5 years ago. And I've always been interested in it. And the opportunity came up, and I said, okay, I leave my husband, my children, my dogs. I'll go off and study and come back. And it's been an adventure ever since.
So you started completely from scratch 5 years ago.
Completely.
And why was that a change that you wanted to make? And what did you change from?
So before that, I was a church administrator.
Wow,
so completely different. And while I love that, I want to do something for myself. And I figured before I get too old, let me do it. And so motivate anybody who thinks it's too late. It's never too late.
There's no such thing.
No, never too late. And so I just decided I'll just take a leap of faith.
So talk about exactly what electrolysis is and then what laser hair removal is, because you hear about these things, but you don't actually know how that process works.
Exactly. So both of them are methods of hair removal. Electrolysis started first, and it was actually designed to be a home-based business.
Really?
For mature women. Okay? And it has evolved. It can still be done at home. And one day I may do it at my home, but it involves an actually individual method. So you actually are going to remove the hair one by one.
Wow.
So it is not for the faint-hearted, and it's not for persons who don't have patience, because that's what you need. A lot of people today want a quick fix. It's not a quick fix. If you want a quick fix, you go more towards laser. For laser, you use a small probe, and you go over the skin in almost like an Olympic flag position.
Okay.
And anything that's under the probe is what's going to be dealt with at that time. So you're getting a lot more. It's done quicker. The time that you need in between the service is longer, so you have a little time to catch yourself. So for laser, you would use 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how fast your hair grows. And also for electrolysis, 1 to 2 weeks in between each service.
And for both of those procedures, how many, I guess, service times do you have to have?
Good question. So here's the thing. Most people are individually based, all right? Because my hair may grow faster than yours. My hair may be coarser than yours. So there are a lot of elements that are involved. So people say, how many do I need? Well, they say on average, 6 to 8. That's an average. But they're talking about the whole scope. So they're talking about from the fairest skin of the Caucasian to the darkest, coarsest hair, somewhere in the middle. And it just depends on where you fall.
That's really exciting. And I know that
It
this
is.
field has been just booming. What has the reception been like locally in terms of clients?
Well, when I first opened, I realized the first day that it was going to be different than I anticipated. It wasn't just going to be, I want to get rid of hair. It became more of an issue of the hair being an actual problem, affecting person's confidence level.
Yeah.
And as a mother of daughters, I want them to hold their heads high. And so I expect all these women who come to me to want to hold their head up high. And I notice that as we go along and the hair diminishes and their whole demeanor changes, they just start, smiling more and looking up more. And that makes it worthwhile.
I feel like this is a new kind of ministry. You just switched ministries.
It really was, because I thought, and what I see a lot of is young women with hormonal imbalances, such as PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. Very common. I don't know why it's so common. I have it. It's hereditary. I passed it on to my 3 daughters. They've all been properly diagnosed. And so I usually try to ask clients, if you think you might have it, even if you suspect that something's a little off, go to your doctor and have it checked. Make sure, so there are ways that you can treat it.
Yeah.
I only deal with the hair portion.
So talk about some of the other services that you offer. And am I saying it right, Glabella?
Glabella, yes.
Glabella, yes.
I'll tell you about Glabella. Glabella is actually a Latin term for this area right here.
Really? I swore it was like glam, Bella. Like you mixed it.
I'm so sorry. It's more basic than that. But we're talking about this area right between your eyebrows.
Okay.
That's nice and smooth. We want your whole body to be just like that.
I love it.
Yes. So what we also do is offer stretch marks and acne mark reduction.
Oh, wow.
Because, sometimes you get acne, bad acne, really
Yeah.
potted skin. Stretch marks, you have a baby and you had beautiful skin and one baby just... And we also do a little fine wrinkle and line reduction.
Okay.
You have too many. I did it on my laugh lines. I like to grin. So I noticed that as I got older, it got a little deeper. So I tried to touch it up.
Soften them up.
Yes, I'm not trying to mess with nature so much, but just a little.
You're just making people feel a little extra
Yeah,
fabulous.
make them feel good. Yes, absolutely.
So you mentioned PCOS,
Yes.
which is, extremely common, as you mentioned. What are some of the signs that would make somebody think, perhaps I should see a doctor?
Well, the most common sign is irregular periods, okay? So you would notice this from most persons know it from a teenager. Okay, so you hear, oh, I had it just doing it for years, and they're only like 23. Okay, years, that means you noticed it as a teenager. I got diagnosed at 18. So that's one of the signs. Another one might be inability to have children or problems having children. You might want to check to make sure everything is okay. Difficulty in losing weight. Hair reduction in your head. So there's a couple of different things. There's a long list, and not everybody's going to have the same things. Some people may just have hair, because that's definitely one of the signs, increased hair. And that only means because our bodies are out of balance, all right? We're getting too many male hormones, and that is, they're fighting against the natural things, yes.
I know that is like a challenge for a lot of people, when you have women with excessive facial hair, that really can make you quite insecure.
Exactly.
So
but it's not just the hair on the face. You can do your whole body, which is good.
Speaking of, again, why they need to come to Glabella, what is the special that you're running for the month of May?
So for the month of May, summer's coming, and we want to wear our nice bathing suits. So we're doing a Brazilian, full Brazilian, and underarm special.
This is laser and electrolysis?
No, just laser.
Okay.
Okay, electrolysis is a little more difficult. But for the Brazilian and the underarms, we're taking $60 off for the month of May.
Wow.
And I'd like to extend to any viewer of your show that calls me this week before Mother's Day, I'll give them 16% off everything.
Oh, I love it. So did you hear that, guy? You got a special Bahamas at Sunrise special.
Yes.
Finally, how can people get in contact with you?
Well, they can WhatsApp. That seems to be the most common. We are on Facebook and Instagram, so you can go and have a look. And you can call or WhatsApp at 801-4522.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us.
It's been my pleasure.
And you definitely want to take advantage of these specials at Glabella. Thanks for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. During the month of May, we will be conducting the labor force survey on various islands, including New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Long Island, Bimini, San Salvador, and North Eleuthera.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the number of employed individuals, those seeking work, and the size and location of the labor force. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all the information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas.
Please remember that our survey enumerators will be uniformed in orange vests with the Department of Statistics written on them, as well as photo IDs.
So if we visit your dwelling, please welcome us and help us gather accurate information. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
Summer travel is here. Jet to Fort Lauderdale on Western Air. Jet with ease and comfort. Got bags? We've got you. Your first check bag is free. Personal bag and carry-on included. No change fees, no cancellation fees, no penalties. Travel on your own time with flexible ticket options. Book today. Travel any day. Book now at westernairbahamas.com.
The push-to-talk device is a beautiful device. It operates on our world-class cellular network. You can take pictures, you can take videos, you can put your persons in different groups. If they want the engineering team to have a different communication than the finance team or the security team, you can do that with the push-to-talk device. And that's not something that you can actually do with a regular communications radio device. We have several different types of devices. There's the 380, the 580 Plus, and then there's the 590 Plus, which is the top of the line device.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
The islands of the Bahamas. Fly away.
Flowers and chocolates are great, but how about adding a delicious bottle of wine for Mom on Mother's Day? We are here at Premier Crew with Kyle Stubbs, wine manager and sommelier at Bristol Wines, and he's going to show us all the best wines to give Mom on her special day.
Indeed.
Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning, always a pleasure.
Well, you know this is my favorite kind of field trip.
Indeed.
To come out here. So talk to us about why wine is a good gift for Mom on Mother's Day.
I like your intro. You know, flowers and chocolates, they are great. But a better addition to that is a good, well thought out bottle of wine. The thing about wine is it's shareable, right? Although we're celebrating Mom, we want to be able to provide her with something that she can share with her kids, family and friends and that kind of thing.
Well, not if they're too small, but yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But we're talking about, it's a shareable moment. Family and friends are going to be around. It's a celebratory moment, and those kind of things lead to wine being an ideal gift for Mother's Day.
So a lot of folks like to typically do brunches for Mother's Day. So what kind of wine goes with brunch?
All right, so brunch brings all of our taste profiles into play, right? All of the bitter, the umami, the sweet, the sour, the salty. And so we look for something that can handle that, elevate it a little bit more, and it's usually something that has some bubbles in it, right? So Prosecco usually shows up at a brunch conversation.
Okay.
And you know, we can add our juice, whether it's cranberry or orange, freshly squeezed is the way to go. Or if it's something sparkling on its own, right? Prosecco can be enjoyed on its own. We have some nice Prosecco rosés here that we're showing off today. And then we have a nice sweet sparkling Moscato over there as well. So those are all ideal for a brunch conversation for Mother's Day.
So if you are giving mom the ultimate day off and you just want to leave her with the perfect bottle of wine, what is an upper echelon wine that says, we appreciate you?
A nice bottle of demi-sec Laurent Perrier champagne. It speaks to quality, it speaks to elegance. It is at an elevated price point. It is something that mom would want to enjoy on her own as she lavish in a Mother's Day kind of thing. And it speaks to, you know, this is, I'm going to spend a little extra today, Mom.
Of course.
I appreciate you.
It's a very special occasion.
Indeed.
Okay, so we kind of run the spectrum, I want to say. Bahamians, you have those who, and I want to say it's the majority, who really like the sweet wines. But then you have, you know, the real wine connoisseurs who enjoy the dry wine. So take me through what here is sweet, what's dry, and where's the perfect middle ground?
Super. So what here in the front of us is sweet, extremely sweet. Like we said, is the sparkling Moscato to your right, the Cavacholi. We have a semi-sweet sparkling here, which is the Santa Julia from Argentina. We're talking about natural preserved sugar, nothing added. And then we move into some drier stuff. So we have the Josh Prosecco on that end. And then we have Sperone Prosecco Rosé here. In between the dry and sweet, on the white side of things, we come in with the Riesling. And I think I have a nice, I think we should just have a little sip of this nice Riesling here.
Wow.
So Riesling is a nice grape that we can get extremely dry, semi-sweet, or extremely sweet. And Eroica here represents the best of both worlds when it comes to Riesling. The #1 producer inside the world, which is Dr. Lucen, and the largest producer inside the world, which is Chateau Saint Michel. This is a joint project between them, and it's a fantastic mid-priced $25 Riesling off dry kind of thing.
Okay, should we try it?
I think so.
I have to follow you.
Again, the Riesling bottle makes, you know, wine look attractive and elegant, and we're talking about Mother's Day. It looks elegant in the wine. It tastes nice on the palate. It's sweet, but it's not extremely sweet. There's acid, and so if mom is pinching on charcuterie or, you know, munching on something else, it'll sit extremely well on the side of it. And then we move into some drier stuff. Rosé wine, and it's warming up on the outside. So rosé is coming into play. The Pale here by Whispering Angel and Fleur de Paris, both French approaches to rosé wines, light, crisp, clean, floral, enjoyable wines for Mother's Day. And then, of course, the celebration, the quality sparklings and the champagnes. So we have Imolo, which is from the Wagner family. They produce the outstanding Camus and Camus Special Select that Bahamians, you say sweet, but Bahamians drink this $150 bottle of wine like water. We have a very affordable champagne, Le Host. Okay. Bahamians are also jumping onto this right now, and this is the rosé, a little bit more on the feminine side for Mother's Day.
Sounds
a little
like
touch of the Pinot
gift.
Noir. And then, of course, the creme de la creme this morning is the Laurent Perrier Demi-Sec.
Okay, so you took us through the entire spectrum. I'm still biased to think that people like sweet. What are some of the dessert wines that you offer?
Super. So our dessert wines, our true dessert wines here at Bristol Wines and Spirits are extremely high priced, right? So we're talking about a half bottle, 375 milliliter, at about $167,
wow.
right? And so we talk about the winemaking process where we dried out those grapes to concentrate the sugar. So we lost a lot of liquid, and so we have to make up for that some way, somehow, and so it shows up in the price point. The quality is there as well. But we have a Faniente Dolce, which is an awesome one, and then we also have another one, slightly lower price than that, which is the Byron Feely Sauterne.
Do you have any special pricing, any promotions going on for Mother's Day?
Yeah, so we have our monthly wine discount, so you can pop into any of our Bristol stores and browse the wine section. Or you can pop into Premier Crew here, and any of the wines that you see displayed, Tasha will lovely give you a nice 15% discount to appreciate our mothers this weekend.
I love it.
And we're also this Friday, our happy hour takes a little bit of a twist, appreciation for mothers. So we're doing a tasting with some rosé wine and some sparkling wine, one or two of our food vendors, and it's open to the public. So we're doing our part to show our appreciation for mothers this weekend.
And do you need to bring a mother? How do you prove that you're a mother? Or anyone can come?
We're going to scratch those rules for Friday. I think people will be a little bit more hard fast on Saturday and Sunday. So anyone can come, but mothers will be shown that level of appreciation on Friday.
And do you want to wish the mothers everywhere a happy Mother's Day on behalf of Bristol?
I personally have a very soft spot for mothers. I think that the job that they carry in the family and in the community is a lot. But I've been blessed through my entire life to come across some awesome moms. So I just want to personally send some shout outs to some moms, particularly my mom. Happy Mother's Day. But on behalf of Bristol Wines and Spirits, you know, this is the one occasion, when it should be more, that we're going to step back, take a deep breath and say, you know what, we value and appreciate moms and what it is that they bring to society. So we wish moms everywhere a happy Mother's Day. Do enjoy. And if you do, for whatever reason, miss grabbing your bottle of wine before, it's okay to enjoy it after.
It won't spoil. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Always a pleasure.
And a happy Mother's Day in advance to all of you. Thanks for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Meet Leno, your bridge to the future. Wealth planning, investments, corporate services, trust services, pension administration, fund administration, outsourced accounting, and payroll. When you think of financial solutions, think of Leno. Local or international, company or individual, Leno can help. Our team of skilled professionals has the experience and expertise needed for you to strive. Your goals are our goals and our priority. Leno will guide you to the right financial solution with the knowledge, resources, and support you need. Give us a call at 242-396-3225 or email us at info@lenobahamas.com to get started. Visit our website, www.lenobahamas.com, for more information today. Leno, your bridge to the future.
Hi, my name is Amanda Ferguson with Biggity Candle Company. With $100, we were very pleased to know that we were offered another way for customers to make payments that were digital. We don't like handling cash, the physical cash anymore. It's safer that way. I can tell you that, I won't go back. I much rather the transactions being on my phone. It's simple, it's instantaneous, and my customers have actually really loved it too.
Do business better with $100. Learn more at $100.bs.
One thing, two things, blue thing, all things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We are having a marvelous Monday. I am your host, Davriel Gardner, and my co-host for today is none other than the president of the Counselors Limited, Mrs. Joan Albury. Good morning.
Oh, thank you for that promotion. That is fantastic.
So how does it feel to be on this side of the camera? Usually I see you, walking, making sure everything is going well. How does it feel?
Once in a while, I'm given permission to come on set, and this is a special occasion because I'm excited to talk to you about the Cat Island Business Outlook. And this is going to be our third Cat Island Business Outlook, but our first in person. And Cat Island is one of my favorite islands.
What makes Cat Island so special to you?
Well, it's the beauty of Cat Island. And in fact, I find that and I'm probably not correct in this, but I think the elevation and the simplicity, the environment, and the hotel, actually, where we're hosting the third Cat Island Business Outlook, Fernandez Bay, I think is one of the most beautiful hotels in the Bahamas. And so I'm here to invite our audience to come to Cat Island next Thursday, which is May 18th, and to participate in the third Cat Island Business Outlook. But most importantly, too, we're excited about the fact that the representative for Cat Island, that's who is the Honorable Philip Davis, is going to deliver our keynote address. And so I'm hoping that we will have a full room and people will hear the great things that the Prime Minister has to announce.
It sounds like it's going to be an excellent meeting. People definitely would want to come out. If somebody, is thinking about traveling, are there any special promotions going on with the host hotel, or how do they make plans to come to Cat Island?
Our partners for this includes Fernandez Bay, and they have a special rate that they're offering to our participants, and also Western Air. And so you can leave New Providence on Wednesday at 1 o'clock, be there for the conference on Thursday, and then come back on Friday. So it's a good time to visit Cat Island. And I want to mention some of the other speakers. For example, we will have Tracy Boucher, and she's going to be talking about staying connected, and Cable Bahamas Business Solutions and Alive are partners with us. They have been partners with us for all our business outlooks. And we also have Dr. Kenneth Roma, who I think is coming up next and on the show. Dr. Roma, of course, is going to be talking about the tourism product and also about aviation. And we have Barker's Roll. There's a significant amount of road works going on in Cat Island, and so Barker's Roll, who's the parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Works, is going to update us on what is going on in terms of infrastructure in Cat Island. And so we will have a full day. We have one of our moderators is Kerry Fountain, who's always a part of our Family Island Outlooks, and Kerry is the executive director of the Bahamas Out Island Promotion Board. So he's going to be speaking on a panel that deals with stakeholder engagement, and that includes a number of persons from Cat Island, like Sydney Isaacs and Dawson King. Those two individuals are in Cat Island, and they're going to be talking about Cat Island heritage. So it's a full day.
So, you're going to have a well-rounded experience, so you can go to the Outlook, have just incredible information, and of course, get to see Cat Island for the first time.
Yes, and hopefully we'll get the opportunity to go to Mount Alvernia.
Yes.
And that's really exciting, and I'm looking forward to doing the Stations of the Cross there. And we also have a hospitality panel, which is going to include Western Airlines and our host hotel, Matthew Tuttle, who will be updating us on their plans for Fernandez Bay. And they are the new owners, actually, of Fernandez Bay.
So, there's a lot. You don't want to miss it, so there's still time to sign up for the Cat Island Business Outlook. We have even more great stuff in the second half of our show. Merrit, Storr, and Nerissa Greene from Providence Law will be joining us to discuss the recent citizenship ruling by the Privy Council, and there's lots more to discuss about the upcoming Cat Island Business Outlook. But first, we'll take a second look at weather with Godfrey Burnside. Thank you for being my co-host.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is Weather at Sunrise.
Thank you, Davriel. Good morning, Bahamas. And yes, second look at weather at sunrise. High pressure north of the islands continue to be the dominant weather feature across the islands. So a nice weekend still weather-wise. In the marine forecast today, those winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet northwest Bahamas, northeast to east at 15 knots, sea 3 to 5 feet on the central and southeastern islands. On Tuesday, the winds become southerly at 10 knots or less, seas 1 to 3 feet at extreme northwest Bahamas, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the remainder of the northwest and central Bahamas, continuing northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the southeastern islands. On Wednesday, those winds southerly at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet northwest Bahamas, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the central and southeastern islands. Your tides. You can expect a high tide at 10:24 this morning. Your next low tide will come at 4:27 this afternoon. High gain tonight at 10:55. Sunset 7:43 this evening. Rising was 6:28. UV index 8. Your water temperature 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And the moon phase, full moon. The extended look. High pressure continues to be the dominant feature. We look like a frontal boundary move here sometime late Thursday into Friday for the weekend. And so ahead of that front, we're looking at partly sunny skies, hot temperatures, humid conditions. The temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s, at nighttime in the mid 70s. After that front passes, we look at some cloudy skies on Friday and Saturday. The temperature in the mid 80s at daytime, lower 70s at nighttime. That puts you up in your fun look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to the show.
Thanks, Godfrey. We are pleased to welcome from Providence Law Managing Partner Merrit Storr and partner Miss Nerissa Greene to discuss the law on citizenship. On Thursday, May 4th, the Privy Council issued a landmark ruling in the case of the Attorney General as the appellant and Shannon Tyrek Roll and 4 others. The essential matter of the court was invited to decide whether the Constitution of the Bahamas confers citizenship of the Bahamas at birth on a person born in the Bahamas who is the child, number 1, of an unmarried woman who is not a citizen of the Bahamas, and number 2, a man who is. Before we get into what they actually decided, we're going to walk through a few issues. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. Good morning. This is, I want to say, one of the heavier topics. But it is one that, people really did talk about quite a bit. Right. So I'll get right into it. Sure. A significant part of this ruling involved interpreting Article number 6 of the Constitution. What does Article number 6 say, and what's its relationship to Article 14?
Right, so good morning again, Gabrielle. And I'll say that as the Constitution can be technical, and we may not be able to do justice to it in this segment because it's such a small segment, but we'll give it a shot. Thank you. So Article 6, just for the benefit of everyone, states that every person born in the Bahamas after the 9th July 1973 shall become a citizen of the Bahamas at the date of his birth, if at that date either of his parents is a citizen of the Bahamas. Ordinarily, that sounds pretty clear and straightforward. Yeah. But Article 14 says, Article 14.1 says that any reference in this chapter to the father of a person shall, in relation to any person born out of wedlock, other than a person legitimated before 10th July 1973, be construed as a reference to the mother of that person. So Article 14 does not read as clearly as Article 6. And the accepted interpretation of this was that Article 14 restricted the interpretation of parents in Article 6 only to an unmarried Bahamian woman, and that an unmarried father could not pass on citizenship to their children at birth. So that was the accepted position on the law prior to this ruling of the Privy Council. Hopefully that's not as clear as mud. But
it's clearer than mud.
Okay.
So apparently prior to the current ruling, there was an earlier ruling by the Supreme Court on this matter. What did the court decide in that instance, and how was that, and why was that decision not binding up to this point?
Right. So further to my first point, which was that the accepted position in the law restricted unmarried fathers to Sir Burton Hall. And to quote from the case, he said, "The effect of Article 6 is that a person born in the Bahamas after independence inherits the Bahamian citizenship of either his mother or father, subject, however, to the clear words of Article 14.1 through his mother. So that ruling by Sir Burton in 2007 at the Supreme Court level was the existing state of the law. That ruling was never appealed. So in a case like that, where a Supreme Court judge, even though it's the Chief Justice, makes a decision on a matter, it's not binding on future Supreme Court judges. They can still review the matter. And so subsequently, that's what happened. A similar case came up and another Supreme Court judge reviewed similar facts.
I'm going to go slightly off script and wonder, do you have any concept of what they were hoping to achieve with Article 14?
What I think, and I discussed it with Merrit yesterday evening, I think the objective of what the court was looking for was to remove the issue of legitimacy or illegitimacy between children born in and out of a marriage and the children born out of a marriage and wedlock. And so, you know, Article 14.1 addresses the issue where a child born to a father but unmarried will have to take the citizenship of the mother because of not being married, born in wedlock. And so when you look at it in tandem to the new Status of Children Act, what they would have implemented in 2007, which removes that no child is to be construed as being illegitimate.
Right.
So that is, I think, when you look at it, you have to consider what Article 14.1 was trying to alleviate.
So the Privy Council can only receive appeals. So what was decided by our Supreme Court in the most recent case, what was decided by our Supreme Court in the most recent case and the subsequent appeal?
Oh, in the subsequent appeal, what transpired, as Merrit would have alluded, is that you would have had the previous CJ, which was Justice Hall, made a decision, and as Mr. Storr would have indicated, that Justice Winder, in the recent decision where the Court of Appeal and the Privy Council would have had to decide upon, the two judges was not on a same accord. When the previous CJ, Justice Hall, would have made his decision was on the word parents, his parents, and he took as one was saying the ruling, an economical approach, whereas in the Justice Winder's approach, he took the word his parents, meaning either or, male or female father, yes, and he took an interpretive approach, and so he construed it, and I think it was a very clever approach that Justice Winder did, in that when he approached that in a sense that he encapsulated both the male and female, whereas in the CJ's approach, the previous Justice Hall approach, he only encapsulated as only being the mother.
So what does this mean on a practical level? And what, I guess, is the essence or the undertones of this decision?
Well, based on the ruling of Chief Justice Hall, the law was being treated in such a way that if you were born, your mother was a non-Bahamian, your father was a Bahamian, but your parents were never married, you did not become a citizen automatically at birth. That now affects that class of persons. Yes. They can now immediately at birth become Bahamian citizens. We also had some strange, what I call absurdities that used to occur. One being, there were cases where a Bahamian father, unmarried and fathered with a non-Bahamian mother, they would actually adopt their minor children to give them citizenship. I've participated in cases where the father, the Bahamian father, would actually legally adopt his minor child in order to confer citizenship. So things like that will no longer have to occur.
Do you see along with what Merrit said, do you see the the difficulty in that.
Yes.
Me being a father, or Merrit being a father,
Yeah, no, I
sorry,
understand.
having to adopt his own child.
Yeah.
It's ludicrous.
It's a little ridiculous, and I think this is something that was hotly debated. However, I don't think you really have a leg to stand on in terms of opposing it, because if we are generally as a society moving forward into the concepts of equity or being a more egalitarian society, I think it's kind of a necessity.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to go a little off script. I've had a number of friends over the years, male friends, who've had lots of challenges, whereas, perhaps the women who are the mothers of their children, not necessarily the most responsible person. They'd like to take, care of their kids, or they like to take custody of their children, but they have a really hard time. Do you think when it relates to children, just like citizenship, custody, things like that, that the Bahamian
You
law
want a different slope
naturally tilts towards the favor of women? Or is this, am I going to get y'all in trouble?
No, I have a view, and Nerissa practices in this area more than I. So let me give you my view,
Okay.
and she'll agree or disagree. The law really, in my opinion, favors women.
Yes.
Whether they are good mothers or not. And that preference or discriminatory practice in the law where the presumption is a mother is going to be a better parent really works to the disadvantage of men in most instances, and particularly men who want to play an active role in the lives of their children.
I totally agree with Merrit. When it comes to say for a male want to adopt a female daughter, the courts look at it as the male does not know how to care for a female child. One, you have in society where abuse is also a critical issue that the court also has to take into consideration.
Yes.
Not that the father will abuse his child, but the fact that it's in the air and the court has to consider it.
Yes.
I don't necessarily agree that that a woman is naturally a better caregiver than the father. I think I've seen men care for their children far better than the female. I see some female, they abandon their children. But as we stand, our law is very archaic in that the law sees, especially a child that is born out of wedlock. I mean, there was a term in the ruling, filius nullius, meaning the child of nobody, or the child belongs to the mother. So I think in the mind, until our courts get into the concept that the child is not longer illegitimate, not only the child is the mother, but the child is also the child of both parties, the father and mother, and both have, not said, they do have rights, not just financially for the father, but both do have rights for the care, upbringing, and the mental stability of that child.
Do you think that this, most recent interpretation of parents to refer to both mother and father, do you think that will set a precedent moving forward, for the way that the law is interpreted as it relates to parents who may not be married?
Well, I think the Constitution is a unique document. Now, how it may lead to further amendments to legislation, ordinary legislation, in terms of how we administer the law. But that particular aspect of the ruling that dealt with the Constitution is probably a standalone. Now, it remains to be seen if there are any further amendments to legislation. Nerissa mentioned the Status of Children Act. Do those need to be amended to line up with this new interpretation? We'll have to see.
I totally agree with Mr. Storr's position as well. Even though this case assists persons in that predicament, I can't say that it will deter or change the status of persons who want to obtain citizenship and create a Pandora's box and try to obtain citizenship through the back door. So while the ruling is fresh, while the ruling is interesting, it would be nice for Parliament to sit down and try to look at the Constitution. How do we, because our economy and the world is changing, and we must evolve
with that
to help everyone, like you said, equality. equality for all. Fairness.
I love that. Well, thank you both for coming and helping us interpret exactly what's going on, to translate it from the legalese.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
What do you want from a cloud solution? You want flexibility and edge? You want to modernize applications with the ability to deliver new ones with lightning speed. You want an infrastructure that's automated, secure, cost-effective, and scalable. You want to give the end user the freedom they want with the control you need. You can't get all that from just any cloud. You need something better. You need Bahamas Cloud. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Hi, I'm Ria Christina, and I'm super excited to be the new host of You and Your Money, a local international bank that has actually been closing some of their branches. It actually gives me an opportunity to share my views, my take on the financial matters. Even when we think about what's happening globally, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of having to educate business owners as to the importance, the economic impact, and how it is that we can look at improving the Bahamian economy. $1 billion. That's how much we spend every year importing food in this country. It also gives me an opportunity to have conversations, and that's meaningful conversations with thought leaders within our community, even having to see how it is that we can work together or even the opportunities that may exist for many Bahamians. So I'm excited to be here and looking forward to the great conversations that's to come.
One thing, two things, blue thing, whole things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
The islands of the Bahamas. Fly away.
Welcome back. Dr. Kenneth Romer, Deputy Director of Tourism and Acting Director of Aviation at the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, is here to discuss plans for a new airport on Cat Island and give a preview of what to expect from his upcoming presentation at the Cat Island Business Outlook on May 18th at Fernandez Bay. Good morning, Dr. Romer, and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. It's always a great feeling being in great company. Glad to be here again.
So tell us briefly about the government's plans to build a new airport on Cat Island and then any other family islands where airports are currently in the works.
Well, first of all, we are extremely pleased as it relates to our tourism product. We are saying at this particular point, 3 months into the year, we measured and discovered that we were some 31% ahead of where we were at the same time, 2019, which was the best year for the Bahamas. So when we speak about airport infrastructure, it has to be linked to the importance of delivering airlift, again, to not just Nassau, Paradise Island, and Grand Bahama, but to the islands of the Bahamas. The Deputy Prime Minister phrases it this way. He speaks about tourism being the lifeblood, but aviation being the oxygen. So we are the oxygen that really gets the blood oxygenated and ensure that we are in a healthy state economically. So a part of that national imperative is for us to very strategically address the state of our airport infrastructure. In March, we announced some 14 airports targeted for development. We are in a very active request for a pre-qualification phase. And of course, persons know that one of the airports targeted is the New Bight International Airport. And I am so excited again about New Bight. My maternal great-grandmother, my paternal grandfather are all descendants from Cat Island.
Wow.
I'm an Androsian and also a descendant from Cat Island. So it feels very good to go to Cat Island. All of us know that the airports there, both Arthur's Tongue and New Bight, are in terrible states. The Honorable Prime Minister, just about 2 months ago, actually did a groundbreaking for the airside development. We're going to extend the runway in Cat Island. It's going to be a beautiful terminal. We, again, have seen the drawings. So I think that the Prime Minister is going to make some really critical announcements, not just for Cat Island, but as it relates to the government's imperative to address the state of our airport infrastructure.
It has been reported that the new multi-million-dollar airport in Cat Island will feature modern and sustainable designs to the tune of $8 million or $10 million for the terminal building and an additional $6 to $8 million for the airstrip. This is a major investment. Why is this kind of investment at this time appropriate for Cat Island?
Yes, the airport will have sustainable models built into it. You're going to find that it's going to have those indigenous cultural attributes. You'll get the feel of Cat Island. And that is, again, the imperative of the government. You're not just going to take an airport, put it in a community that does not make sense for that community. There's going to be a sense of place, a sense of pride. I think that all of the communities that will have new airports are going to see that there are some indigenous attributes linked to that. But Cat Island, of course, is very rich in culture. It's really, you have some icons, national icons who have descendants from Cat Island. So you're going to see quite a bit of that. I believe that during the Outlook, we are actually going to unveil the plans, again, the beautiful architectural rendering in the Outlook. These Outlooks are very important. I want to say that. They're more than just business gatherings, but we actually engage with community stakeholders. It's actually listening sessions. They come out to the Outlook. They're able to voice their concerns, give some input. I was very pleased with the Eleuthera Basis Outlook just last month. We sat back, we heard the input from community leaders as it relates to airlift. And on the 20th of May, this month, just 1 month after the Eleuthera Basis Outlook, we have proactively negotiated with Silver Airways, and they will be having, for the first time, direct airlift from Orlando into North Eleuthera.
Wow.
That came as a result of advocacy that took place during the Basis Outlook. So Cat Islanders should come out there. They should be able to speak to their Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, speak to those of us who are visiting Cat Island. We're going to listen, and we're going to really include them as a part of our national plan.
So is there a timeline for completion on this airport initiative? I know some exciting things are happening as it relates to the airports in Eleuthera, various family islands. There's conversations ongoing. Do you have a projected timeline?
The Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister have both indicated that in 2024, which is next year, that Cat Island, New Bight International Airport, will be experiencing a ribbon cutting. So we, in a year time, about 18 months, we're going to see a brand new airport in Cat Island.
Wow. You mentioned Eleuthera and you mentioned the Eleuthera Business Outlook. You know, it's recently come to light that North Eleuthera, I think, second to Nassau, is one of the most high volume or high traffic areas as it relates to airlift. But when you go to the airport, it's quite small, and you think that wouldn't be the most popular airport. Talk about how family islands are booming at this time.
Family islands, when it comes to their overall airlift performance, they are actually exceeding Nassau's performance percentage-wise. I think persons will be very surprised when you come to the Cat Island Business Outlook and you speak to the figures. You'll find out that percentage-wise, Cat Island actually has the fastest growth when it comes to the percentage-wise and year-over-year increase in terms of traffic. Exuma and Eleuthera, of course, have been delivering volume, but when it comes to the percentage growth, Cat Island right now is experiencing over a 90% increase over 2019. So wow. Cat Island, you'll hear about it. I'm not going to let all the cats out of the bag or the secrets out at this time, but I think persons are going to be very pleasantly surprised when we look at the percentage increase in terms of international foreign arrivals to Cat Island.
So what I'm hearing is that people both in Nassau, no matter where you are, or definitely if you're in Cat Island, you can't afford to miss the Business Outlook.
You can't afford to miss any of the business outlooks. I'm saying we have seen tangible benefits as a result of these outlooks. I think they're adding significant economic value to our communities. It gives us an opportunity to meet with key stakeholders in a non-threatening environment, to listen, to hear, and also to invite them into our plans. So Cat Islanders ought to be out, and if you are a descendant from Cat Island, if you feel a part of that wonderful Cat Island spirit running through your blood, you ought to register to be a part in person. We love to see persons there in person. I'm going to try to walk up on Alvernia also, but there are also opportunities for persons to also attend virtually.
Yes.
So this ought to be one that's oversubscribed. I think our Prime Minister is going to make some big announcements there. This is the outlook that everybody should really be a part of.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. People really have a lot to look forward to with your presentation.
A lot to look forward to, not just for this outlook, but for many of the outcoming outlook. The islands are really going to benefit. A lot of exciting things are in the pipeline. And again, it's our pleasure to partner again to be a part of this business outlook in Cat Island.
That's wonderful. To gain deeper insights into Dr. Romer's topic and engage in this exciting discussion, we invite you to join us in person at the scenic Fernandez Bay Village or virtually via Zoom. You can register for the Cat Island Business Outlook at tclevents.com or check our Facebook page for additional details. Thanks for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Summer travel is here. Jet to Fort Lauderdale on Western Air. Jet with ease and comfort. Got bags? We've got you. Your first check bag is free. Personal bag and carry-on included. No change fees, no cancellation fees, no penalties. Travel on your own time with flexible ticket options. Book today. Travel any day. Book now at WesternAirBahamas.com.
Hi, my name is Amanda Ferguson with Biggity Candle Company. With $1, we were very pleased to know that we were offered another way for customers to make payments that were digital. We don't like handling cash, the physical cash anymore. It's safer that way. I can tell you that, I won't go back. I much rather the transactions being on my phone. It's simple, it's instantaneous, and my customers have actually really loved it too.
Do business better with $1. Learn more at $1.
Well, it has been a marvelous Monday indeed on Bahamas at Sunrise. We have had some excellent conversations. We've gone from the lighthearted. We've talked about, ways to take advantage of laser hair removal. We've talked about what to get your mom in terms of wine for Mother's Day. Of course, we talked about this landmark decision as it relates to the Privy Council and our citizenship laws. And finally, we talked about all the things that you can look forward to at the Cat Island Business Outlook. You definitely want to be there and register at tclevents.com. I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead and that you take time to enjoy the quiet time and the joy of doing nothing. Dolce far niente. But I guess you can't do that till Friday. So focus on working until then.